Hey, what up, what up, what up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing out there, man? Hope everybody's good out there. Um, Blessings to everybody, man. This is a quick vlog. Well, not really quick, man. This is going to be a vlog, okay? Slash mini documentary, whatever you want to call it. But I'd like to welcome you guys to the Say Experience Show's channel on YouTube. We're part of the Ill Blog Network channel or networks. And this show's powered by Ill Blog Radio. Ill Blog Radio is a radio station based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We're in the process of making some moves and improving our radio and everything via YouTube and all other platforms. But thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you taking your time to come to my channel and to view whatever it is that we have to offer. But I would love for you to subscribe so you can stay in tune with us, so you can stay up to date with us and what we got going on. This is pretty much just the vlog, man. I'm gonna give it to you exactly how I like to give it, man. Pretty much. Um, this is just the beginning of everything that we about to do. But this vlog is about the dark truth about the Sentinelese people, right? The dark truth about the Sentinelese people and Maurice Vidal Portman, okay? Maurice Vidal Portman is a very important person, okay? But we're going to learn about, not important in the sense of a good thing, okay, with Mr. Portman, in the sense of a bad thing, okay? We're going to get to learn more about him and how he plays a role in the Sentinelese people. And also, just to let you know, this topic is real, huge right now on social media. Everybody's talking about it, and I love the fact that everybody is talking about it. People are getting to understand the truth that has been given by like master teachers like Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, even Chink Diop. Okay, Chink Diop and these guys have been talking about the migration of African black people from different areas of Africa, and they went to different areas of the world. Okay, um, and the Sentinelese people are one of them. Okay, based on what we know and what we have learned is that the Sentinelese people have lived there for about 60,000 years, coming from Africa. Okay, they don't know nothing about electronics. They just discovered metal, all types of things, man. It's brand new to them, man. And 60,000 years, okay? That's a long time, okay? For them, and to live on that island and to be away from what's going on in the world. So much history has passed and so much things that has gone and come that they have not, gotten a chance to experience. So it's like the Sentinelese people is a very interesting story. Nobody has touched the Sentinelese people. According to I seen an article with an anthropologist. He claimed he went on the island and actually walked on the island and somehow got off. I don't know how true that can be. Okay, I just don't know. I just can't believe him 100. I think he said he did it in 1967, and he was apparently the first, but apparently he was not the first, according to some of the things that we've found online and also doing research. Okay, I want to give a big shout outs to the Joe Rogan show. I was watching the show and I got some details from there, and I want to give a shout out to Respectable Lawyer, aka Respectable Law, on Twitter. We'll get into that and the reason why I've given the shout outs to Respectable Law. And it's interesting, man. I love the story, man. I want to learn more about them, but it's never going to happen because of the threat of losing your life. Just like the young man John Allen Chow, Chow Cho. I don't know of his exact name, but what I'm going to do is play a video so you guys can see more about his story. He lost his life trying to play pastor. He lost his life on some missionary stuff, and look, on some missionary shit, man. He lost his life on some missionary shit, and unfortunately, you can't do that with the Sentinelese people. They don't play that. And we're gonna talk about why Mr. Portman is very important. Okay, why Mr. Portman is very important. And once again, shout out to respectable law on Twitter. Okay, and yo, make sure y'all subscribe, hit the like button, share this, comment. We appreciate it. Join the conversation. All right, but I'm going to play this video to give you an idea of Mr. John Allen Child's story. It's just audio and text, and it's from BBC News. I believe it's BBC News or CNN. But I'll be right back. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. All right. Um, okay. As you can see, the Sentinelese people, 60,000 years. Okay, this is stuff that I've known from before, but they're putting it out there now, and I'm happy that a lot more people are getting to know this information. This information is very 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 important because it lets you know that my master teachers and the people that I look up to as far as like teachers, as far as like leaders and scholars, the Dr. Benz, the Dr. Clarks, the Ivan Van Sertima's, the Diop's, and so on. I've read books from them, and I've also watched documentaries and watched a lot of their lectures, man. And it's a blessing to have stumbled upon that information years ago. I'm talking like 10 years ago about tribes or people from the land of Africa migrating from Africa to different areas of Asia. And some of the information that I learned is about how we are the original Asians, and the ones that are there are pretty much the mixed people. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with basically like India, China. Those areas were inhabited by mainly black people, like the Jarawas. I want to make sure I pronounce that right. The Jarawas are the indigenous people of India. The Jarawas were indigenous, meaning they are originally from there. That's they're the original. Okay, ain't nobody else before them. That's what indigenous really means. Like they're the original people of that land. Okay, before uh, the colonization of that area. Okay, Genghis Khan. The white man has gone to that area as well, and now you get to understand that the people, the masses, get to see and know the story that the original man is black, no matter what. You know, it's it's a black man and woman. It might be a black woman. You never know. So many things out there could be said, but let's just say it's a black man and black woman are the original. Okay, that's the indigenous people of the planet. Okay, that's the the alpha and the omega, basically, in the sense of genetics and everything. So I'm happy that it's this out, that people can actually get a chance, okay? Get a chance to hear this information on a global scale to where they can actually start digesting this and letting themselves be okay with that. You know, a lot of people are not okay with that. A lot of people want to create different types of stories and and how the world began and who's the original man and woman, or the original race or phenotype, and it's the African black man and woman. Um, but I'm going to go into this video real quick. This video's been on YouTube for a while, but it shows you a little bit of how the Sentinelese people look and uh, how they reacted when they were encountered by some folks. I don't recall how. Well, the video is gonna give you all the details about how long ago it was. I just don't remember, because I was more focused on um, getting this video put together and getting my feet wet again, doing this particular type of medium and media, and also getting back onto the radio, broadcasting, and all of that. But I appreciate you guys. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you watching. You don't have to watch, but you are. Make sure you comment, share, like. Welcome to the Sage Spin Show.
The first encounter with Sentinelese tribe was violent, as they threw arrows to the visitor's boat. The Sentinelese people are the last known isolated tribe, North Sentinel Island. In a world of rapid urbanization, we often assume there are no tribes left isolated without external contact on Earth. But the Sentinelese people who inhabit the tiny island of North Sentinel that is part of the Andaman group of islands in the Bay of Bengal are living proof to the contrary. They rejected all types of communication with outsiders repeatedly, and they protect their land violently when anybody wants to establish contact. This violent response is part of a pattern of violence that has marked most attempts at contact by outsiders with this tribe over the centuries. Believed to number anywhere from 50 to 400, the Sentinelese have lived in isolation on the island for 60,000 years. Resisting attempts by authorities and anthropologists to study their culture and integrate them into the modern world. And when someone wanders to their island, like it happened for two fishermen on January 26, 2006, they relentlessly murder them. So protective are the Sentinelese of their territory that an Indian Coast Guard helicopter that attempted to retrieve the fishermen's bodies, they had been tossed into shallow beach graves after their killing, was greeted by a volley of arrows from the tribesmen that prevented the craft from landing. Sentinelese from helicopter, but their hostile attitude towards strangers probably saved them from extinction over the centuries. While the current policy tries to preserve their culture, it was not always like that, and other tribes from the Andaman Islands faced extinction. The great Andamanese tribes, who numbered several thousand in the 18th century, were decimated by the crown colonialists, and currently less than 100 of them live. Their diet consists mainly of coconuts and fish that can be found in the shallow waters around their shores. Based on observational data, they are hunter-gatherers, as agriculture is not known to them. Their meat consists of turtles and small birds found on the North Sentinel Island. Initially thought to have been badly affected by the tsunami on Christmas 2004, it was soon revealed that the islanders had moved to higher ground before disaster struck. Almost as if they knew the giant tidal wave was coming. Inhabitants of nearby islands were greatly affected by the tsunami, but after several aerial reconnaissance missions conducted, it is a fair assumption that there is no damage to the Sentinelese. If not for their metal-tipped arrows carved from hulls of wrecked ships, the Sentinelese would be described as Stone Age people. For instance, Sentinel canoes are constructed to fish in only shallow water. Sentinelese people seen from above New Delhi has deliberately carried out little development in much of the tribal area. intending to preserve the culture of the tribe's people and for fear that bacterial contamination may cause their extinction. As of now, the Sentinelese will be left to the isolation they had so vigorously defended over many centuries. This is the story of the last isolated tribe in North Sentinel Island. In 1880 the British administrator Mr. Portman became the first outsider known to have landed and explored North Sentinel Island. There were some Greater Andamanese aka B tribesmen on this first of Portman's several expeditions, and they warned of the Sentinel's hostile intent. The British did not at this early time appreciate the many and complex enmities existing among the natives. To increase the confusion, the Andamanese themselves were not too clear about other groups who were not their immediate neighbors. The AKAB on this trip may well have confused the Jarawa, who were their direct neighbors and ancient enemies on.
Okay, I don't want to play too much of the video and the entire video, but um, this is great information. As you can see, the Sentinelese people don't play. They ain't having it. They don't want you to come to their island, and and I'm gonna tell you this. I guarantee you, if some black folks go there, they wouldn't react the same way. Okay, they would not react the same way. Um, as you know, in the sense of the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad believes that the white man is the devil, and I believe the Sentinelese people are the only people that may truly believe Elijah Muhammad or follow it 100%. Okay, in the sense of their actions, in the sense of their past and their experience with Mr. Vidal Portman. You're gonna learn more about that and why they may feel that way. But that's just something I just wanted to bring up. Like an analogy or something. Just to pretty much like correlate it. You know what I'm saying, in a way. But um that's either here nor there. But let's just talk about the real topic, right? The Sentinelese people don't want you there, and I just have a feeling if it was black people, they will let them in. They will let them in, but you just can't come dressed up in no suit or no hat or whatever. You got to come dressed like they dressed, but you can't be like you got to be a little dark. Like you got to be black because them folks over there in the Sentinelese Island are jet black. Okay, they're just like the Jawas from India. That's right there off um, Andaman. Is it Andaman Island? I believe it's Andaman Island. The Andamanese people. Okay, they're black. They dark skinned, and I believe the Jawas and the Sentinelese people are the same people. I mean the island North Sentinel is basically right there in the middle of the Indian Ocean, like right next, not too far from India. It's far, really far. It's right there in the middle of the water, pretty much, man. You'll see it on the map. You see it on the map yourself. It's right there in the middle of the water, and I believe that the Andaman Island is not too far. It's not too far from there. So, but I believe the Jawas and the Sentinelese people, the same people. We just gave them the name Sentinelese people because that's the island, the name of the island. But they're the same people. You know, um, the language. We don't even know what language they speak, so it would be hard. But like I said, if a black person try to go there, I think they'll have more of a chance and a better chance to make it. They might just they might just look at you different, but you might just be able to get there, okay? Now we're gonna go straight into it, man. And the reason why I feel I made the little comment about Elijah Muhammad and the beliefs of the Nation of Islam, and uh, the reason why the Sentinelese people are the way they are, okay? They weren't always this way, okay? There was a point the Sentinelese people were actually welcoming. Okay, I mean, maybe prior to this particular story with Vidal Portman, Maurice Vidal Portman, in the 1800s, they were welcoming as well. They probably had other people that came to the island. I mean, they've been there for 60,000 years, and if you think about 60,000 years, that's a lot of years, man. And in comparison to 400 years of enslavement, like That's small. You know what I'm saying? As you know, but basically, I believe before the 1800s, and in this particular story, they were welcoming. They didn't mind. They probably had other people that visited the island or that came to the island, and it's crazy. As I read this story from the Respectable Law Twitter, it's crazy, man. It The Sentinelese people have a reason. Have a reason. Okay? Let me pause this real quick. The Sentinelese people have a reason to not want anybody there that look white. Okay? Okay? That is not close to their shade or as dark as they are. Okay? I'm sure that if a couple black guys go over there, they'll welcome them. I'm telling you. I just have a feeling. That is the only way you'll be able to get to these people. Okay? Now you're going to get to see why. All right? You're going to get to see why. And but when I transition to the next screen, I want you guys to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. It's free to do that, just to tell you that. It's free to subscribe. So, um, subscribe, okay? So as you can see right now, we're gonna get into Mr. Maurice Vidal Portman. We're gonna learn a little bit more about him, okay? Once again, shout out to the Respectable Law, okay? As you can see, Respectable Law on Twitter. Make sure you follow him. He created a thread, and this thread has been shared so many times. A lot of people have supported it and put it out there. Retweets. Look at the retweets. 39,000 retweets. And he got 71,000 likes. Great. Keep spreading the information. Keep spreading the knowledge and the history. Um, this. I wish we can find somebody that can go to learn more about them so we can learn the history. This is 60,000 years, okay, of history and knowledge. We want to know where in Africa they migrated from. You know, they may have all this information, and there's only a little amount of them left. They say there's only about 150 left. I don't believe that. Okay, I believe there's probably at least a good 500 to 1,000, if not a little bit more, because in one of the stories that you're gonna see, I believe it was here, but probably in the video, they mentioned that 50 men attacked them with bows and arrows and everything. So, and that was just recently, like probably, I believe it was about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Okay, so let's get into this, all right? Um, as Respectable Law wrote, there's been a lot of talk about the missionary killed by the natives of North Sentinel Island. John Allen Child, rest in peace to John Allen Child, but you shouldn't have done that, man. You should have just leave it alone. You should have just, you should, yo, should have been wise. Okay, you should have been wise enough to see, like, yo, if they're not going to accept the last 3-4 people, I'm not with it. I'm not going over there to try to use no Jesus Christ, no Bible, no cross or anything to save these people. They don't know what a Bible is. They don't understand what a cross is. They don't care about none of that, okay? But they do care about their history and what has happened to them. Okay, let's continue. Um, they're probably aggressive because of this weirdo, Maurice Vidal Portman. So here's a big thread about the creep and some facts from my decade-long obsession with this island. Okay, and here we go. The Sentinelese are often described as uncontacted, but this is not strictly true. They had a very significant contact in 1880, to be exact. Commander Portman, okay? I'm gonna have to change that title on the YouTube. Okay, so in 1880, all right? Now we continue. Portman, the black sheep, third son of some minor noble, was assigned by English Royal Navy to administer and pacify the Andaman Islands, a job that pursued from 1880 to 1900 with a full measure of his own perversity. Okay, Mean he could do whatever the hell he want. Okay, I can't really see this image too clear. Let me go back to the previous image. You see the image? They all nude and everything. That's how they still are to this day. To this day, they still are. And I don't, look what he got him wearing. And these. I think you can actually let me see blow up the image right quick. Okay, this is Portman, the Black Sheep, third son, which is I just read. What I just read, and I mean, just just look at this, man. The images speak for itself, and we're gonna continue. Portman was erotically obsessed with the Adam Adamese, and he indulged his passion for photography by kidnapping members of various tribes and posing them in mock Greek homoerotic compositions. Yo, this is my first time reading some of these things, man. Like, look at this, man. I don't even want to look at that page right there. Let's continue. So, during his 20 years in sexualized Heart of Darkness, Portman measured and cataloged every inch of his prisoners' bodies with an obsessive focus of genitals. Okay, I guess this little image you see here is from a book, and it says ANSI Volume 12, lending support of Mary Louise Pratt's notion of bodyscape in the colonial gaze. This writing is crazy. Male genitalia appear to have been a particular point of fascination for Portman and Malsworth. One man is described as having antrophied testicles, both being hard but the size of a hedge sparrow's egg. The same individual is also marked by the observation: penis small with a moderate size prepuce. Yo, I don't even know. I don't even know if I pronounced that word right. Okay, whatever. Penis larger than usual summarizes a man named Chiroko. Teely is described as the chief of Interview Island and a man of considerable authority and intelligence, but also equipped with a bad temper, genitals that are fully developed but small. I guess this is probably like some of the notes he was taking and in his catalog. This is crazy, man. Like, this is why the Sentinelese people ain't fuck with y'all. They don't want no white people over there because of Mr. Portman. He fucked it up for y'all. He went over there and did some dumb shit. Over here, over sexualizing these people, homosexualizing these people, raping these women, touching on these women, because what you see in these books and everything is just the minor stuff. This is the micro of the macro of what's really going on outside of his documentary or his when he's doing his measures or cataloging, whatever you want to call it. All right. Now we're gonna continue. All right. Just imagine being a Neolithic person spending a few weeks in this guy's rotating menagerie. Hmm. Like, listen, you know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna continue to read. All right. Portman spent most of his time in Greater Andaman Islands, but in 1880 he landed on North Sentinel. The natives fled, and his party ventured inland to find the settlement, which had been abandoned in haste. But they located an elderly couple and a few children they were able to abduct. The couple quickly died, likely from ailments to which they had no immunity. Of course, they're not immune to flu or the stuff that you carrying on your body, that you carry with you. Um, the children spent a few weeks with Portman doing God knows what. See what I was saying? After which he returned them to the island. Portman returned on a couple of occasions, but the Sentinelese hid from them each time. See that key? The first line. The children spent a few weeks with Portman doing God knows what. Pedophilia. That's exactly what was going on. You're fascinated with the genitalia, and then you got children with you for a few weeks on ships, on boats. Okay. After okay, let me not even continue. Let me go to the next line. So, the story related. Okay, the story related by the children was certainly passed down among the 100 or so inhabitants of the island, and even today, Portman's fatal kidnapping is just beyond a human lifetime. Now, see what I was saying? Like, this is 60,000 years they've been on this island. If somebody can speak the language, find a way to, a black man, go over there, try. You might die, but that's the, if you really want to find out some information about the Sentinelese people, you got to get a black man to go over there, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. And that's the best way, But other than that, just leave those people alone, okay? But let's continue, all right? So basically, what line was that? Okay, so when the Indian government attempted to contact with anthropologists in the 1960s and 70s, the Sentinelese were understandably hostile to outsiders. The Indian government soon gave up. Okay, and they created a law. The Indian government created a law, and the Sentinelese created this law in the 1800s. They ain't playing. Okay, after 1900, they just said, yo, it's done. No more people come to this island. If you come to this island, you're getting killed, chopped up, and probably eaten. Okay? You know what I'm saying? They probably eat you and everything. You know what I'm saying? Um, and probably eaten. Well, I say eaten. Okay? Now, you got to think about it. Imagine if Africa was like this. Imagine if, uh, imagine if other places of that indigenous peoples like this, we would have a different type of world today. Big time. Oh man, big time. We talking like a different world. All right. Um, make sure y'all subscribe, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right. Let me continue. All right. Now, she was said the government attempted to contact anthropologists. They said there was one that went there in the 1960s, 1970s. There was an article. I want to find it. He said that he went there and actually went on the island in the 1967. You can look for the article. He just I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but I just think he's trying to get some fame off the the newfound love for the Sentinelese people, and also the story going on with Mr. John Allen Chow. I think that's the only reason why he's like, he's trying to get some fame, or get some notoriety or whatever. Yo, I don't believe it. Okay, we need images, because back then they had cameras. We need images. We need a painting. We need some evidence, something. But then when I read the article, he even said that he was not into taking anything off the island. I don't believe that one bit. There's no anthropologist that would take that type of risk and not go on the island and not take anything, claiming he saw houses and tents and everything like that. And you didn't take nothing. You didn't take no type of evidence. You didn't take You didn't even take sand. And you want me to believe that you went on the island? Nah. We need more. We need more evidence. Okay. And like Jay-Z said, we don't believe you. You need more people. Okay. Whatever this guy name is, I don't even want to give him any more clout. Okay, right now, because he's just trying. He's clout chasing. He's doing a Tekashi 6ix9ine, and he's doing a 50 Cent right now. Okay, clout chasing. That's what they call it nowadays. All right. All right. Let's continue. In 1981, a cargo ship named the Primrose ran aground on the coral reef surrounding North Sentinel. The crew radioed for assistance and settled in for a long wait. But in the morning, they saw 50 men with bows on the beach building makeshift boats. Okay. See, I told you earlier, I read somewhere about 50 men. So if this was in 81, I believe they still have a good population there. It's just probably kind of hard to reproduce, because they probably only really got like 500. You never know, and the birth rate is not really high over there. You never know. And some of the things that this guy named Portman, Maurice Vidal Portman, has done to them could have like scarred them for life, and it could have been a plague. It could have been something as easy as you molesting the boys, and then and to the point, with a small population that they have, the men tend to, engage in homosexuality, and then the decrease of birth rates and all types of stuff happening because of what you've exposed them to and stuff that you've done. Um, and let's continue. But this boat right here was abandoned. Okay, as we're gonna continue to read. The crew called for an emergency airlift and were evacuated, and a moment too soon, and not a moment too soon. Excuse me. Rough waves had thwarted the Sentinelese in their attempts to board, but the weather was clearing. Okay, and the ship and its cargo were left at the island, awaiting discovery by Neolithic eyes. Today, you can still see the gutted remains of the prime rose on Google Earth. That's crazy. Wow. So this is pretty much it right here. Hey, I want to know, did they find the Ark on Google Earth? Just asking for some peoples out there that want to know. But yeah, that's crazy. The ship, yo, they got that ship. They got parts of the ship, as we're gonna see, to make some things. Okay, imagine climbing on board that ship, a completely alien vessel filled with alien things. Imagine seeing simple machines for the first time: a hinge, a latch, a wheel, things that would instantly make sense in satisfying way. Others would be so incomprehensible to avoid notice. Okay, I have never been able to find out what cargo was on the Prime Rose in all my years of reading. There was about 100 tons of some sort of consumer product on board, and I'm curious what it was. But even absent the cargo, think about all the things that must have been on that ship. In the 1990s, yeah, really think about it. Like all the chemicals, like all the stuff that like they probably had medicine on that ship. They probably had all types of stuff that probably they could have consumed that probably could would have killed them. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's crazy. So you gotta think about it. They probably lost, a lot of their people through that, and the food that was probably on the ship, because MREs most likely that's what they would have on the ship. From my experience, being in the military. So I feel like they probably have MREs on there, and just imagine all types of stuff that could have been bad, but a lot of the things they probably utilized for good. But just think about that. All right, let's continue. In the 1990s, when anthropologists returned to the island to make new attempts at contact, they were met with a different attitude. Not friendly exactly, but they were willing to accept gifts. Many would wade in the water with smiles to accept coconuts. See, they was welcoming at the time then. So maybe some of those folks around that, maybe those folks that came, they were smart. They was waving those coconuts. That's smart right there. Um, but let's continue, okay? Um, and in those videos, you can see that these pre-Iron Age people now had metal weapons like the knife carried by the man. They had scavenged metal from the Prime Rose and Cold Forge and its tools. Okay, and after collecting gifts for a few minutes, a few members of the tribe would approach and make menacing gestures, signaling that it was time for the outsiders to leave. They have never lost their desire for isolation despite the gifts, and they remain consistent in their intolerance against intruders. In 2006, two fishermen were killed after drifting into the island when their anchor detached while they were sleeping. Whew, got them. Rest in peace to those guys, though. The Sentinelese are lucky they were so effective at preventive contact. The neighboring Jawa was so fortunate. The tribe went from 9,000 to a couple hundred from lack of genetic immunity and only forestalled annihilation due to aggressive segregation. Their future is bleak. The Jawas, like I was telling you about the Jawas, I learned about them. So remember, man, the African, the black man is indigenous to the world, to this planet. Okay, planet. Okay, let's continue. Yet on North Sentinel, they've maintained a small community for 60,000 years, which is by all indication happy. There is no way to integrate them into the modern world without wiping out nearly every member of their tribe. You know that's easy to happen because that's part of some of the things that what I read from some of the things I read on here. I didn't read everything, but I read some of it. That I just clicked on just to see, because I wanted to be surprised at some of the things reading at the same time. But you're gonna get to learn more about how you know they got sick from being kidnapped. All right, give me a second. What was I? Okay, and their aggressive savagery is not a mark of savagery. It's just that their concept of outside is mostly framed by some foot-faced English pervert who murdered some old people and did weird things to their kids. So let's do them a favor and leave them alone. Point blank, leave them alone. They're never gonna forget. Okay, it don't matter how long ago it was. That's how they store their history through their minds, man. You can imagine. Um, One of the great things about doing a thread like this, the people show up with even more information. First, the son of the helicopter pilot from the Prime Rose rescue mission let me know it was cargo was chicken feed. Wow, the cargo was chicken feed. Okay. And he replied, it was chicken feed. My father, Captain Robert F., was one of the ones who airlifted those of them prime rolls out. It was only later that he found out it was just a lot of chicken feed. He did have some pretty interesting accounts on the experience, though. Some also pointed to me a book that described a 2 month salvage operation of the prime rolls that was almost certainly observed by the Sentinelese. Okay, as you can see, what it says dealers. It says for a continuous stretch of 2 months, laborers worked at the site of the wreckage about 400 feet away from the coast of the North Sentinelese. Groups of about 7 to 10 men worked in shifts 1 week when in close proximity to the Sentinelese, who too would try to recover their share of the scrap. Even before this work started, small fishing boats from Port Blair used to undertake uh, surreptitious, surreptitious. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Real talk. You know, surreptitious trips to the wreckage site to bring back loads of cargo and scrap. These facts call in questions of the argument that the sight of the two fishermen at close proximity of the Sentinelese coast of January 25th, 2006 was a rare occasion for the hostile and isolated Sentinelese and therefore a reason for confrontation. All right, Sentinelese people didn't play that. Now let's continue. All right, and dug up and at this person he added respectable dug up a memoir written by Portman, and it seems possible that Portman may have not kidnapped Sentinelese after all, as has been reported by every contemporary history of the island. And somewhat ambiguous on page 726, Portman described landing on Sentinel, and in the following paragraph discusses his time there, saying one day while walking through the jungle. He then describes the abduction as happening a few days later while crossing the island, and the island he had been discussing was North Sentinel. But he refers to his captors as Jarwa, the name of the neighboring tribe. It's hard to tell from the context if he was using the terms for Sentinelese as well. The writing is less than clear. However, my read is that he is talking about North Sentinel, but it's not definitive. Finally, it seems that Portman in some small way acknowledged his transgression against these people, though I don't feel bad for calling him a foot-faced English pervert. This guy. Um, for balance, and the quote good article provides. I guess this is the article here. You can see more. Um, the entire story is fascinating, man. It's a dope story. Let me see what else I found. There's something else I read as well. Um, but apparently that's some of the things that was happening on the island, and the Sentinelese people are really protective about their history, and they're really protective about their people. Okay,